welcome to The Outside Story, a podcast on film, TV, and media from an outside perspective. My name is Jessica, and I'm joined with my two co-hosts, Jonathan and Larry. You're listening to episode 4 of our 2020 October Halloween special. Today, we will be talking about zombies. The films we'll be talking about today are Night of the Living Dead, written and directed by George A. Romero, Zombieland Double Tap, directed by Ruben Fleischer? Fleischer?
That's fine.
Okay. Train to Busan, directed by Yeon Sang-ho. Peninsula, directed also by Yeon Sang-ho. And One Cut of the Dead, directed by Shinichiro Ueda.
Cool. Yeah,
Yes.
that's pretty
Okay.
good. And
Okay,
Jess,
okay.
so why are you joining us on all topics and episodes? Why are you joining us with zombies and not with the other
Okay,
ones?
because of all horror. Okay, besides maybe psychological horror films
Or Stranger Things?
or Stranger Things, another horror type film I can watch are zombies. So that's why I'm here today.
Yes.
Because
Why zombies? They don't
because
freak you out?
yeah, I mean sometimes when there's a sudden scene of a zombie
Jump scare.
jumping out from somewhere, like a jump scare. Yeah, of course it's a little creepy there, but then zombies are not real. I mean, granted, anything can happen these days, but it's 2020, so anything can happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, because zombies, I can get down with zombies. I can't get down with anything spiritual or gory type things, but
Zombies are pretty
I
gory,
can do that.
yo.
Yeah.
They are. It depends on the type of zombie, I guess. If you get Walking Dead zombies versus Korean zombies, those are two totally different type of
That's
zombies.
true, yeah. Yeah, so we didn't cover zombies last year. Personally, Jonathan and we don't find zombies that scary, right, Jonathan?
Nope. They're not scary at all to me.
Yeah, they're not that scary. I want to say I blame video games for that because they kind of gamified. Seriously, if you look up zombie games
Right.
anywhere, they're littered everywhere. It's just because if we don't have Nazis to shoot in World War II, we have zombies to kill, or even better, we have zombie Nazis to shoot. So, zombies just kind of they're just a trope almost in itself, and so we personally don't find them too scary. And so, but this year we wanted to cover them because there's a couple of zombie films that we really do like, and so we wanted to start from way back from the beginning, from the very first well-known zombie film to zombie films that we see now.
Yeah, I guess we can just move
Sure.
on to Night of the Living Dead.
That's fine.
Night of the Living Dead was released in 1968, and like Larry said, it's kind of one of the very first pop culture moments where zombies were featured. It's what people remember. There's older things, there's literary fiction. People consider Frankenstein to be a zombie story. Also, historically, zombies came from, I think it was voodoo, magic.
Yeah.
Is where
That makes sense.
Zombies kind of first make an appearance. And so that's kind of how it was introduced to Western culture and Western audiences. And so Night of the Living Dead, I think it was originally filmed in black and white, but for some reason when I was watching it on Amazon Prime, it was now in color.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find the black and white version.
Yeah, it's weird because the original distributors for Night of the Living Dead did not secure it, so now it's public domain. So anyone can,
is it?
Yeah, it's public domain. So anyone can watch it. Anyone can take it, re-release it, resell it however they want to, in
Yeah,
color.
you can make a video game out of it.
Yeah,
if you wanted
yeah,
to.
exactly. It's public domain, so anyone has access and rights to the actual film. So that's why you'll see many different recolorations and many different versions, remastered, re-updated, deleted scenes, blah 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 blah. That's why. That's why you see so many of them.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Can we do a Hmong dub one?
We could
then?
probably Hmong dub it for free.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Man, that's gonna be a lot of work because the announcer, man, says so many complicated things. I usually like going back to the origins of where everything started, and Night of the Living Dead was, I want to say, legit every trope you can think of in a zombie show or in a zombie TV or a film comes from this particular film, because we're talking about like getting food and supplies, shooting zombies in the head, zombies that are infected, and you don't think they're infected, but they're your loved ones that are infected, and you're afraid to kill them because they're your loved ones. Boarding up your home, making sure they don't come in, zombies being hecka strong, lighting up zombies in the fire. See, like all these tropes come from this film, this exact film. And so when I was watching it, I was like, man, so that's where it came from.
I will say though that like in this film, the zombies are really smart. Like,
oh yeah, these zombies are smart.
Yeah, when they encounter the first zombies in the graveyard, that zombie was trying to open the door. I was like, that zombie's trying to open the door. What the heck? Yeah, that zombie's trying to open the car door.
Yeah, and then later, a zombie breaks a car lights with a brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it knows. Yeah. It knows how to break it. Yeah.
That's interesting because I know this isn't on our list, but I'm just thinking about like Walking Dead because I was like an avid fan, and like when you watch like the first season, like you see the deterioration of like the zombies, how they get like old, like a lot older, and they just aged. So like I mean, it reminded me of that when you said like they're like trying to open the door, because in the first few episodes, like the zombies were they were smart, like they were trying to like open doors, trying to do things, and then as
Climb
like
things.
as you like watch throughout the season, like they start to deteriorate and age. So it's interesting how like I guess in the zombie world there are like quote unquote like rules I guess that people can write. So
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like Night of the Living Dead originally when it released, it released around the time when they didn't have an MPAA rating for films released in theaters. So anyone could watch it. Even little kids could watch it. It wasn't rated R or anything. And then like kids and teenagers were truly terrified at this film. It was truly terrifying at its time. And like people are, I think this is one of the reasons why they established an MPAA is because of this film. So like don't.
Thanks, George Romero.
Yeah, thank you for making a rating system. So that way you don't have kids randomly walking into films that are more scary than they should be. And for this time, this film was pretty darn scary.
Yeah, did you like the film, Larry?
I did. It's aged. It is really old.
Yeah, for sure.
It has definitely aged. But what I liked, it did feel like a play. I feel like it felt like a play, right, Jonathan? Would you say? Because there's a lot of monologue.
Oh yeah, yeah. It definitely felt like a play. Yeah, and there's like specific acts to the film. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can feel it. Yeah.
And I want to say most of the actors and actresses, they're local. They were local in Pittsburgh. The film was set in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're local. They're from theater. So of course, that's where it come from. And a good chunk of the film was improv. They didn't really have a real script for it. So a lot of the lines where Barbara, the main girl, when she was talking about like what happened in the graveyard, or with the main character when he was talking like what to do, what's going on, like he was monologuing everything. They were improvising a lot of the things there too.
Now that you say that they're theater actors, I can see
it. Oh yeah, they're not film actors.
Everything is like overacted. Like Barbara, I wanted to like shoot her in the face because she's like, oh no, and she was like, I was like, girl, you need to calm down.
Yeah, like she was like way too like shocked. She was shocked for the entire film until like maybe the very last couple minutes. Like she didn't say anything because she was so traumatized by what's going on. I'm like, girl, like just snap out of it. So even with this film, you have like tropes of characters. Okay, you have a character who knows what they're doing. You better listen to him. You have a character who's so helpless, doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and just keeps screaming their head off. You have another character who doesn't want to cooperate and only cares about himself and tries to like hide and do everything. You have another character who's so indecisive between the two about what to do. And so like all these tropes, man, just come directly from this film.
Right.
So. Sounds like The Walking Dead.
Exactly.
Also like Train to Busan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, as you can see, like that's how big an impact Night of the Living Dead has. All the characters, they're still like, that's its legacy. Its legacy is the zombie films we have for today. So I guess we can move on if you don't have anything else to say, Jonathan.
Final thing is that the black actor in the film, he's like one of the main characters and ends up living to the very end.
Dwayne Jones is his name.
Dwayne Jones, yeah. Then he gets shot by white people.
Because they think he's a zombie.
Sure.
Which, like,
Total
you know,
social commentary right there. He's not even trying to do it, but he did it. Wait.
And so, yeah, I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now, man?
Yeah, it's funny.
I wasn't sure if he was.
It's funny,
Yeah,
it's
I
funny.
wasn't sure if he was gonna live or
Yeah,
not.
it's funny because like all the people who are going on a warband hunt to kill all the zombies were all rednecks. We're all
Yeah, I
rednecks
know.
with shotguns and pistols, just going around shooting
Oh my
zombies in the
gosh.
head, and they happen to shoot a black guy. Really, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also like they had made the commentary like, oh, I can't tell if it's a zombie because he's like black and it's like dark inside the house.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, y'all kidding me right now? You can't see if it's a zombie.
Eye roll.
Oh man, but yeah, that's my final final thing about that film.
I guess our next film is Zombieland Double Tap. So this is the
Yeah.
long-awaited sequel to Zombieland. Only 10 years. It only took 10 years, you know?
Really? Oh my
I think
gosh.
so. I want to say it's 10 years. I can double check. I'm pretty sure it's 10 years.
Wow. Yeah, I guess yeah, because the younger sister Abigail Breslin, she was pretty young when
Oh,
the
was
first one
she?
came out.
Oh, snap. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, she's like old in this one.
She's old in this
She's
one.
really old in this one.
Oh man. Yeah, what did you think of it, Jess?
I liked the first Zombieland. I thought it was hilarious. Like
Yeah.
their take on it, like, you know, more comedic versus like super scary. So I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun, and it made me laugh. Like, cause you know zombies are supposed to be like quote unquote like scary, and but I mean sometimes they were a little creepy in this one. I liked it. It was a fun storyline. All the characters were, you know, exact. Have you guys seen the first one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they were like, you know, it was a great continuation of like the story. Yeah, and then like Zoe Deutsch's character is like, I love her character. It's so funny. Like she's so funny. Like Jason and I always laugh and, you know, make fun of that character or like, you know, try to speak in her like
Her
super-
Valley Girl.
her Valley Girl voice. It's hilarious. Yeah, but I think I still enjoyed the first one a little bit more.
Oh, yeah?
But the second one was good.
Okay.
It was a good sequel. It wasn't bad.
Yeah. I don't remember the first
Yeah.
one too well, but I remember really enjoying it a lot for sure. Jonathan, what's your take on it? Because I know you're not a huge fan of like comedy and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, I remember really liking the first Zombieland. This one I thought was just kind of okay. I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's a good sequel. So I think I disagree with you, Jess, because like I really didn't like the story arc between the two main characters,
this-
Emma Stone and Jesse
The
Eisenberg.
sister? Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, them.
Because
Yeah.
because they already had that like in
Yeah.
the first one. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Like it's the same exact love story. Like she has
Yeah.
problems committing. You know, like I freaking get it. You know, so like this one, like for them to do it again, I felt like I was watching High School Musical. You know, because in High School Musical, Gabriella has the same issue in all three movies. And so if they're gonna make a Zombieland 3, I'd freaking bet you Emma Stone's gonna have a problem with committing again. You know, like it's just like,
That's
dude,
right.
get over it. You know, like
See, I feel like with movies like this, I'm not gonna take it seriously. Like I'm not paying attention so closely to to like the story. I'm like, oh my god, why did they do that again? You know what I mean? I just kind of like enjoy it for what it is. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not like critiquing like the themes or the morals of this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I can see that, but for me, I think it's like if you're gonna make a Hollywood blockbuster sequel, it's like a movie sin for me.
Yeah.
Like to have a character not develop from movie 1 to movie 2. Like
Right.
imagine if Aragorn was the same person in Fellowship of the Ring as he was in Return of the King. Like
He wouldn't be the
it
king.
wouldn't be Return of the King. It would be like Fleeing of the King or something. I don't know, like
Yeah.
something else, you know? And so yeah, I just it just bothers me. Like I think it's a movie / cinema sin. But I mean, other than that, I thought it was funny. Did I love it? Not really, you know. Did I enjoy it? Sure. That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Only because we don't see too many zombie comedy that much. There really isn't too much of it. They're all kind of like far in between. But Yeah, I thought Double Tap it's a pretty fun ride, as Jessica said. I wasn't really too sure where it was trying to go, but I think if you want to make a good example of like a zombie blockbuster film where you just want to blow money away, a comedy is probably your best bet because this film is pretty funny. I want to say it is actually a good continuation of the original film because all the characters are still there, and we kind of get to see what kind of adventures they go through now. And I want to say it's pretty hilarious. Okay, so our next film on our list is Train to Busan. So this film came out in 2016, and when it first came out, everyone was raving about it. They were like, "Oh, you gotta watch Train to Busan. You gotta do this and that." Like okay, whatever. I thought people were just hyping it up, right? They're just overhyping it. Like it can't be that good. It can't be that great. And so when Jonathan and I when we decided to add zombies as a theme to our Halloween list, I'm like, you know what? Let's add in Train to Busan because we both never seen it. And oh my god, why have we been missing out this whole time?
I told you guys about it too. I was like, hey guys, I watched Train to Busan. You guys should watch it too. You're like,
But see,
and
like
then-
zombies, we're all like, zombies. That's been overdone, and we know how zombies go. We know how
Nah,
zombies
man,
do.
but these are Korean zombies,
yeah.
okay?
These were-
Korean zombies are on a whole nother level.
Exactly. I
Okay.
agree. Korean zombies are on a whole nother level. I guess one of the big things that kind of separates it is the way they move. It's so like uncanny. That's one of the big things, I guess. And because knowing how important family is in Asian culture and especially in Korean culture, how important family is and how important those bonds are, like they take a play on that. They play with that and toy with your heart and pull those heartstrings and will rip it out and destroy your soul. That's what this film did.
Just warning
Just
those
a
who
warning.
do want to watch.
Oh my god, this film, so good.
Yeah, I was
Amazing
I was
film.
bawling like a baby at the end of it. I was like, no, why?
Yeah,
you know?
it is a little tropey because you'll have some characters that are like the asshole character who doesn't want to work with anyone, and you have like the mob crowd that isolates and exiles everyone. You have like those tropes, but like even with those tropes present, like you're so invested in the main characters because you just kind of see through their journey as they try to go through it. So I guess like a real quick synopsis is like this guy, he's like a businessman. He's kind of separate and distant from his family. And I want to say he's even separate from his wife as well. But then he has like a young daughter, like maybe 7-8 years old daughter. The daughter wants to go visit like the mom, but then he's like, no, I can't, I don't have time. But then he eventually realizes that I should probably just spend some time with her, and so he goes and does it, and they try to take a train to her. But during this train ride is when the zombie outbreak happens and people on the train get infected and chaos ensues. You know how zombie outbreaks work, and it's just this journey of like this father trying to get his daughter to like a safe place, or at least to find the mother too. And so yeah, very such a good film. I can't praise it enough.
I'm gonna generalize this. Most Korean cinema is pretty good. Of like, I think I've said this before. Like, of the ones that I have seen, they are pretty good. Like, we've done Burning, we've done Parasite, we've done now we've watched Train to Busan. And I feel like they always, surprise us
Like
in
hit it
a
out
good
of the
way.
park, yeah.
Yeah. They always like our expectations are they just blow it out of the ballpark. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about like Korean like cinema, because it's just so different
Right.
than like what we see here, like in the States. So I really appreciate that. Thank you, Train to Busan. And yeah, I'll just say that I would never want to come across a Korean zombie because they is crazy. I would gladly take a Walking Dead zombie any day over a Korean zombie. Yeah.
Speaking of, Jess, I just want to say maybe we're really lucky that we happen to see and find and discover really good Korean films, because our next film is Peninsula, which is
Let me talk about Train to Busan
okay,
a little bit
sure.
first before we move on to
sure,
Peninsula.
because I want to talk about Peninsula. And,
I don't
okay,
want to talk about
okay.
Peninsula.
All
Anyway,
right, yeah, back to Train to Busan. Yeah.
yeah, back to the good stuff first. I really liked Train to Busan. Like I said, I was crawling. I was bawling like a baby at the end of it. I feel like they just did a really good job with the development of the main character. His character development from the beginning of the film to the very end of the film was really well done. There's moments where his characters to shine for his character to shine, and like scenes where you can see him literally develop, and I think that's really beautifully done. And then the side characters are just so well done. Like
They
the
are.
supporting characters, like
Yeah.
the high
The son.
schooler.
Yeah, the son
um,
from Parasite. Hello, if you guys liked
yeah,
Parasite, you will like Train to Busan because he's in there. Okay.
yeah, the
Yeah.
high schooler guy and his story arc, and then
The
also
the other guy, the bigger guy.
Yeah, the girl
Yeah.
with his pregnant wife. Yeah,
Yeah, with
the
his
guy with
pregnant
his
wife.
pregnant
Oh
wife,
man,
yeah.
so good.
very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like such amazing, like there's like all
Supporting
these
cast.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, all these like supporting characters with their own stories like intersecting, and it's just so good. And I think it's worth the watch because you will have like favorite characters, and you will have like really really favorite moments and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Is it still on Netflix?
No, at the time of this recording, when it's released, it will not be on
okay.
Netflix, but it is still on Viki and Amazon Prime. So you have no
Oh,
excuse.
okay.
You have no excuse. It's on there. You'll find it. Also, one thing I want to add, at the end, I was trying to eat while I was watching the end, and I was trying not to choke on my food because I was like bawling a little bit too, like crying a little bit. I was trying not to choke on my food at the end because it was so sad. But yeah. Oh man. So the opposite of Good Times, the sequel to Train to
Okay,
Busan.
but what happened here?
Yeah, exactly.
What
Who knows?
happened?
What happened? So
the zombie outbreak.
in 2020.
2020 happened.
2020 happened, exactly. They came out with a sequel called Peninsula. Basically, it's like, I think the beginning of the film takes place during the outbreak too, but then maybe like after 10 minutes, time skips forward to like 4 years later. Okay, so 4 years later, we follow this other dude who they're trying to like find a life or establish a lifestyle in Hong Kong because practically at this point, all of Korea is like infested with the zombies, and they quarantine all of Korea basically. And
Busan is no more.
yeah, so Busan is no more as well, and so
Shake my damn head.
and so
The train never made
yeah,
it
basically
there. No,
the premise of the film is this dude and a few other Korean citizens are going back to South Korea to find this truckload of cash and drive it to the port for this criminal syndicate dude. And
Who's a white guy?
yeah, who's this white criminal syndicate in Hong Kong? Basically,
What else is new?
that's what it is. And so yeah, they hire these Koreans because they know the layout and the land and the geography of South Korea, or whichever city they were going to at that time, which is not Busan, I don't think. And so yeah, so they just go there. Their mission is just to find this truck and drive it back. But of course, they have complications. They end up getting intercepted by the inhabitants that currently are surviving in South Korea at this point. So yeah, that's Peninsula for you. So yeah, I know, Jess, you didn't quite finish the film, but what was your first impressions
Nope.
of it?
Yeah, I only watched like 45 minutes of it. Of what? How long was it? Like a 2 hour?
It's a 2-hour
movie or
film,
something?
yes.
It's a 2 hour film.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I only watched 45 minutes of it, and from what I saw, I was a little disappointed. It's funny because I've seen like a lot of. Not a lot, a good amount of like Korean dramas and movies like within this last year. And they always use the same actors. Like, I recognize people. I'm like, hey, I've seen you before. Where have I seen you? Anyway, side note. But yeah, like, from what I saw, I didn't like it. Something was missing. I don't know what was missing. It's just, it didn't have the thing that Train to Busan had.
Yeah,
whatever
that
Train to Busan had.
chemical, that drug they put in Train to Busan, they were missing it in Peninsula.
Yeah, the thing, it's funny because it was directed by the same director, but like the writing team was completely different. And like when I heard when Peninsula did come out like in movie theaters in Korea, like it made like a lot of money, which was surprising. I was like, really? Did people really enjoy it? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, I was like, that's interesting because I wasn't the biggest fan from what I saw. So, yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah, something was missing.
I should have stopped at the 45-minute mark, Jess. Like, that's how bad the film was. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god. Like, I was just waiting for it to end. It was so bad. So take everything that made Train to Busan really, really good and throw it out.
And then
Just
put in
throw it
guns.
out. And then because all the money, because of all the money you made from Train to Busan, just put it in, invest it into a green screen, CG, initial D cars and model animation and guns. Just throw all your money at that, and you have Peninsula. That's essentially Peninsula. So any of the great character moments are very, very bare, very, very minimum, and all you get is like John Wick with zombies and Initial D. Um,
That's
and
funny.
so
Not even
Like-
John Wick. Don't even compare it to.
oh,
John Wick.
like the way the main character fought, it reminded me of John Wick. Cause like, dude, John Wick would totally fight like that. But I was like, wait a minute, I'm here to watch Peninsula, the sequel to Train to Busan, not John Wick with zombies. If I want to see John Wick with zombies, I'll see John Wick with zombies. But I didn't want to see this. So yeah, there are just this did not become like a zombie horror film, a South Korean zombie horror film. It became a South Korean zombie action film. It is. It's a zombie action film.
Yeah.
It is not
Yeah.
like it isn't traject like a horror
It's
film.
not even.
Yeah.
It's not even a zombie film, in my opinion. It's an action film with zombies in it. Like, it's not even a zombie film.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
was it.
zombies weren't like a huge part of it. It was mainly the conflicts between the humans.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they totally missed the mark. Like they totally forgot.
Yeah.
They totally didn't think about what made Train to Busan so good. I guess when they were writing this, they're like, you know what? We got the money. Let's throw in guns now. Let's throw in this and that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's unfortunate because at the end of Train to Busan, I don't want to spoil it for those who do want to watch it. But I'm like, I would have loved a continuation of the daughter. Like that would have been, I feel like, a little bit more interesting because then you would have had a little bit more backstory and like you kind of like, you know, you're like empathetic and you want to sympathize with the with her
Right,
because you
right.
know like what she went through. So that could have been, I feel like they should have done that.
Yeah.
But better, like as long as they didn't ruin it.
Yeah.
Like yeah. But
You
that's
know
just
what?
my thought.
I think if they did put her in this, they would have just gave her a gun and say, "Go ham." So bad.
Yeah. Train to Busan was like so authentic and genuine. You had this very beautiful story of a daughter and her father.
So
Hint,
what
hint,
Mulan should have been.
Yeah, Mulan take some notes on Train to Busan. And you know, and it was so touching and so well done. And then Peninsula just seemed very cheap and fake and like within the first 20 minutes, I was already like, you gotta be kidding me right now. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, and then the white guy came in and was like, you gotta be kidding me right now.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like they shouldn't have done that. Like they, like why? Like for what? Like
'cause they
was
got
he
the
really
money.
need? He did. Well, I know, but they wasted that money on him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
yeah, it just seemed so like cheap and fake and more like a flex than it was like an actual like sequel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and within the first like 10 minutes, they had white people in it already, you know, like the army people on the boat were white, and there were like white news reporters, you know, like talking about Korea. So it was really weird. Like it didn't feel genuine anymore. It felt very fake to me. And also like within the first like 10 minutes, they're trying to evoke like sympathy for these characters, and I'm just like, I don't know who these people are. Like, why should I be sad for them? Like, the music was so dramatic, and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I don't even know what's happening. You know,
Right,
like who
right.
are these people?
Yeah. Like
You know?
like
Whereas,
compared to like Train to Busan, right? In the first 10-15 minutes, it's a little slow. No outbreak has happened yet, but then we see like the main character and him interacting with his mom, right, and his daughter, and then later, maybe halfway through the film, like he gets a phone call from his mom, and they're talking, and she's scared because they're talking about the outbreak, and like you can hear like what kind of happens over the phone, and like that conversation is so significant, so important. Like the only way you can have those kind of moments like that is if you've already had the setup for it. But in Peninsula, they're like, you know, we're just gonna give you the bare minimum of what it is you need, and we're just gonna go for it. But like at that point, we just don't care because we don't know them. We
Yeah.
haven't seen them, and so
Yeah.
yeah,
The only thing we really know about them is that they're family.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Yeah, okay, I think there's one thing that could have saved it. I think might have saved it if the one that the main character, if the main character in the film, it's the main character stopping his brother-in-law from trying to save his sister, right?
Yeah.
But they should have made it that's his sister-in-law and that's his brother. So I feel like that would be a tighter familial bond between the two because in the film, like it's the main character it's the main character and his brother-in-law. They're part of the team that goes back to Korea to find this truck, but they separate. But the thing is, I didn't have any connection between the two of them because, like, bro, like they're barely related. They barely care about each other. I don't know how it is about with in-laws and whatnot, but like, or with them at least. But if they were brothers, it'd be such a tighter bond, and they'd have a harder time trying to separate, and they would die to go and look for each other. You know what I mean? Like, so like that was like, I don't know what they were thinking, but they totally missed it. I'm like, do you not understand how important family is in not only in your culture but in zombie films, in zombie anything? That's how important bonds are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't just be like a half-assed loose. You're my brother-in-law. You're someone I met. At the same time. I think if they made them brothers, and they had built a little more like connection chemistry between that, I think it would have saved this film for me. I think that's what would have happened.
I don't know. I don't think it would have changed anything.
Maybe if it had like less action, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This film just felt really too over the top for me. They like tried to make a really good moment at the very end.
Nope, failed.
They did though. They tried.
So hard. They tried so hard. It did not convince me. I was already checked out.
I was just like, they tried so hard to make something at the end. I'm just like, this is so dumb.
Yeah, because I liked how they try to like reference back to the beginning of the film, right? Like with the character and his dilemma, but like that wasn't something we saw as a struggle throughout the entire film because he was just badass killing zombies, badass killing humans, and he was like this badass this entire time. So it's like, bro, like that shouldn't even be a struggle for you. So I don't know.
Yeah, and they also like they canceled the mom so hard, like for me, and I was just like, dude, that's her fucking moment. You know what I mean? Like that's her moment. Give it to her, and they didn't give it to her. They canceled her. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like. So I was just so mad. They canceled her because of the guy, Here we go again with the whole, men needing the validation and stealing moments from the women. But like that was her moment to give her life for her daughters, like to give them a better life. And instead they just cancel her. And I'm just so mad. I'm just like, oh, so stupid, like I'm just like, y'all trying so hard and it's not working.
So Jess, do not finish the film. Don't. It's not even worth your time.
I will not.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done ranting about this film.
Okay. All right. And our last film we want to talk about was One Cut of the Dead. I think we were looking around for more zombie films, so we really couldn't find any. But then Jonathan found this, I want to say. And he read the premise, and I was like, wow, that actually sounds like a really good premise. The premise is basically it's a film crew is filming a zombie and like an independent zombie short film, and while they're filming it, they get attacked by real zombies. So that's essentially the premise of it. This film was actually pretty hilarious. It's pretty funny.
It's the funniest film that I've seen in years. Like years. It's so funny. So funny.
This film is pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Like I've seen it twice. Jonathan's seen it twice. Like that's how much we love this film.
We've both seen it twice. It's so good. So Jess, you should definitely watch this.
Is it like Zombieland? Like, is it comedy? Comedy?
Yeah, it's comedy.
Yeah.
Okay, comedy with zombies.
Yeah, comedy with zombies.
Yeah. So when you watch it first, don't take it too serious. It's supposed to be pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a little weird at first too.
Weird and cheesy, and kind of like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's very experimental at first, but
yeah. But like literally hold on to it because the best the best part of the film is like the last third part
Okay.
of the film. So, and
Yeah.
then like when you watch it the second time, it's funnier.
Yeah.
For some reason.
It's way funnier the second time.
It's so much funnier the second time. And like, like you wouldn't think that, right? Because like comedy films, like all the jokes, what's gonna happen, and so you're just kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, like but then like when I was watching the second time, it's so much funnier, and I was not expecting that.
Yeah. I think it was only made on a budget of like $25,000, and it made like $30 million. So it's like Saw status right there.
So crazy.
Yeah, very cult following, cult hit, I guess.
I watched it with a bunch of my friends, and they absolutely loved it. They were just kind of like, this is like the best movie that we've seen in 2020 so far, So yeah, such a good film. Definitely give it a try. My favorite character is the makeup artist.
Pom.
Pom.
So funny. Oh man.
So funny. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing
Well,
we can say without spoiling.
Yeah. We're gonna keep it. Not gonna try to say too much, but if you ever get a chance, definitely check it out. It's pretty damn funny. It's gonna be really weird at first, but just stick through it. But everything will
stick with it.
Everything will unravel itself as you continue to watch the film. It's pretty damn funny. It's not your traditional zombie horror comedy film, I guess. So yeah. All right, I guess that's pretty much it for our Halloween special. Yeah, I mean,
episode 4
at least. Our next episode for Halloween special, we're not gonna watch any films or anything, but instead we're just gonna look back and wrap up on everything that we've seen so far for this month, and we are looking forward to what else is in store for the rest of this year and for next year as well, as to kind of see where horror is going, and maybe we can see what'll happen then. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and once again, this is the Outside Story, our October Halloween special.